My ex-girlfriend called, asking for help. She wanted a ride home, but whatever I let in my car was not human anymore. Something strange happened that night when I was driving home. It was the same drive I took every night. I was working late and finally ready to leave. I waved goodbye to my coworker Jeff and said goodnight. My commute was only about half an hour. Not too bad, all things considered, never much traffic either. Just a couple of traffic lights and then straight down a country road. While I was driving out of the parking lot, I got a call. It was from my ex-girlfriend Jessica. It was strange because she hadn't contacted me in almost a year. I was glad I got the call before I made it too far down the road, where I lost service. Living out in the country sucks for reception, and until I get home, I have no service. I pulled over and answered the call. Before I could even say hello, she cut me off, sounding genuinely scared. "Please, you need to help. I can't reach anyone else. I need you to pick me up at the Cypress Street bus station as soon as you can get here." I tried to respond, but the line went dead. I called her back, asking what was going on, but she didn't pick up. I was surprised she would be calling me if she needed help, and confused why, if it was urgent or she was in danger, that she wouldn't call 911. I couldn't risk ignoring it though. If she really needed help, I had to do something. I turned around and took a detour down to Cypress Street to try and find her. I got there in good time and started searching for any bus stops until I found one. Sure enough, there she was. Jessica was sitting alone at the bus stop. She was wearing a large coat, but seemingly shivering out in the night. She was still seated and didn't appear to be in immediate danger. I pulled up to the curb by the bus stop and called out Jess. At first she didn't answer, and I was embarrassed I might have made a mistake. But then suddenly she turned towards me and had a strange, confused look like she was just remembering something. She stood up and slowly walked over to my car. I was relieved it was her, and I called out again. "What's wrong, Jess? Did you just need a lift? I don't know if the red line comes through this late on a Thursday. Are you all right? You sounded really nervous earlier and wouldn't pick up when I called you back." She still looked confused, and I was worried something was wrong, but she suddenly smiled, as if remembering something that made her happy, and she regarded me. "Oh, thank you. I'm not sure how I got here. Please take me home." Without another word, she shuffled over to the passenger side and let herself in. The way she moved seemed irregular, not quite like she was drunk, but just an odd, pained movement, like she might be hurt, yet her expression showed no signs of discomfort at all. The effect was a little jarring, and after she got in my car, I suddenly felt a bit unnerved. I brushed it off though. After all, we had dated for 3 years, and we knew each other pretty well. I figured maybe she was just having a bad night, or perhaps even a bit drunk, though I didn't smell anything on her. I tried to act casual and smiled. She returned the gesture in a strange half smile, half grimace. "So, where to?" I asked again. She just sat there, still smiling faintly and looking at me, or rather staring. She continued for nearly 30 seconds, and it felt like she was staring a hole into me. I cleared my throat and asked again, "Ah, Jess? Jessica, where did you need to go? What did you call me for?" "Oh, called you I? Called you?" She paused, looking confused, then continued. "Home. Take me, home with you. I need help." She looked like she was ready to cry, and my sympathy in the moment prevented me from considering how oddly she was acting and the strange way she was speaking. I decided I would start heading home and, along the way, try to see what was really going on. We drove on for a while, and she didn't offer any details. She didn't talk about anything unless I asked her directly. She just alternated between staring outside, or worse, when she thought I wasn't looking at her, she would stare at me. The way she looked at me made me uncomfortable. We had spent so much time together, but whatever was wrong with her now made her look at me as if I were an alien she was studying. "What actually happened tonight, Jess? What's wrong? This is kind of strange, you calling me after all this time." I asked her honestly. She looked at me again. her head tilted, like a bird examining prey. Then she replied, I was attacked. Caught, someone caught me, hurt me. I will get help tomorrow, but tonight I just needed a face, a familiar face. I nodded my head and focused on the road. I missed my turn. I had a bad feeling about taking her home in this state. Something was off. As we drove on, she seemed to settle in, and her head lolled back, almost like she was nodding off to sleep. I considered that she might have suffered a head injury or something, which would help explain the odd behavior. I thought it might be good to take her to a hospital just to have her checked out. She started making odd noises while I thought she was asleep, strange hissing sounds which had to be intentional. I never heard someone snore like that before. I decided to turn around and start heading back into town. Either I could take her to the hospital or back to her own home. She stayed in the strange sleeping trance for a while. A few times I was worried because I couldn't hear her breathing anymore, but she suddenly exhaled and made more of those strange sounds. When I got back into town and my reception returned, I received a text, or rather a handful of them. I glanced at my phone quickly without wanting to take my eyes off the road for too long. I was confused when I saw they were from Jessica. I thought for a moment she might be pulling some prank where she pretends to be asleep and then messages me. I was curious how she could do that while looking like she was unconscious. I slowed down a little bit and confirmed the empty road, and then pulled up the messages just to see. What I read made my blood freeze. The first one came shortly after I picked Jessica up. Where are you? Please, I need help. I can't say much, and you will think I'm crazy, but I can't go to the police. I just need to get out of here before it comes back. Something is after me. It looked like a cop earlier. I saw it again, and I had to hide. It tried to kill me. After it attacked me, it changed. You have to believe me, it looks like me. The message ended, and I read the next one. I'm sorry, I don't know where it went. I don't see you here. Please hurry. I read the final message, sent just a few minutes ago. I need to leave. I hope you are okay. I'm sorry. I never should have asked you to come and get me tonight. I was just so scared. It's better if you stay away. It's not safe. Forget I called you. Don't come here. And if you see me waiting, turn away. I know it sounds insane, but it's not really me. I glanced over to the woman sleeping next to me. Her head was slumped forward, but her eyes were fluttering under her lids like REM sleep. I had no idea what was really happening. But if I wanted to believe Jess, then I had to accept that the person sitting next to me was not only not really her, but was a violent monster. Whatever was happening, I had to get her out of my car. I had an idea. I stopped at a gas station, and she woke up as I was parking. She turned over, cracked her neck in an awkward stretch that sounded horrifically painful, but seemed not to cause her discomfort, and asked, "Are we home?" "I'm so hungry." I held my nerve and lied, "Yes, we are. I can get you something inside. Come on, let's go in, and I can get you a bite to eat." She scrutinized me, and for a second I thought she could see through the ruse, but her head cocked, and she gave an unsettling smile. She slowly opened the car door and stepped out. She waited for me to get out, but I lunged across the seat and pulled the door closed and locked it. The fake smile faded, and my fear that this was just some trick had fully dissolved. What I saw next was something I can never unsee. As she raged outside, her face twisted into a nightmarish jumble of different human features, and an unholy noise emerged that sounded like 100 people screaming at once. She pulled so hard on the door that the handle broke off and part of it buckled. I was not sure that she wouldn't be able to rip the entire door off if she tried hard enough. I put the car in reverse and slammed on the gas, peeling out of there. I managed to turn around and drive away. I looked in my rearview mirror, and to my horror, the thing that had once looked like Jessica was right behind me, sprinting at nearly the speed of the car. The thing chased me for several blocks, moving so fast I was afraid she might actually catch up. I finally lost her, and I struggled to calm myself so I wouldn't crash. I was terrified, but I had so many questions. I called Jessica again, but she didn't answer. I was afraid something had happened to her. I even drove back to the bus stop, but as she had said in her message, she was gone. I didn't know what to do, so I finally drove home. After going in a few circles around town and checking behind me at several intervals to make sure I wasn't followed, I kept trying to reach out to Jessica, but after several days her voicemail was full, and after a week I found out she had gone missing. I had a horrible feeling that whatever that thing was had caught up to her. I was devastated that she was gone, but also terrified that whatever it was knew who I was now too. I ended up moving away. I couldn't bear the idea of living near where such a thing existed. I couldn't find any information on what it was or how Jessica had found it, but all I knew was it was real, and it was still out there. After enough time had passed, I felt a bit safer. I thought that since I had put enough distance between us, things would be all right. That all changed after the call I received last night. I got a message from a familiar number. It was my old coworker, Jeff. I asked him why he was calling, and he started laughing. What do you mean? You said you would come over for the party I saw you last night. You seemed a little drunk, but I figured you would remember agreeing to come over and say hi to everyone again. It's been so long, I just wanted to remind you to BYOB. See you there. He said goodbye, and I held the phone next to my ear in shock. The call had ended, and I was speechless. I sit here now, terrified of what is happening back home. There is only one way they could have seen me there. That thing was back. It's there. It's hunting. I have to call and tell everyone. They have to believe me. They have to know that if they see me, it's not really me and it's not safe.